Turning now for a look at oil. Prices rising amid escalating tensions in the Middle East.
Did you know why oil prices are skyrocketing these days? Well, hold on tight, because today we're going deep into the world of oil prices and how they affect our wallets. But that's not all. We'll also uncover how surging oil prices can start a ripple effect that impacts everything from inflation to your pockets, or let's say your daily expenses. Without further ado, let's go through the ups and downs of the oil market. The rise of oil prices. In recent years, the global oil market has experienced a significant increase in prices, with the cost of a barrel soaring to unprecedented levels of over $90. But what's behind this surge? Well, it's a complex story involving major players, tensions between countries, and the delicate balance of supply and demand. Let's start with OPEC, a group of oil-producing nations that includes big players like Saudi Arabia and Russia. They've been cutting back on oil production to try to stabilize prices. However, these production cuts, meant to prevent too much oil flooding the market and keep prices steady, have actually caused prices to go up instead. Adding to this, recent announcements from key oil-producing countries have had a big impact on the market, pushing prices even higher. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Russia have a lot of influence over global oil prices, so any changes they make can have a big effect. Geopolitical tensions also play a role in how much oil costs. Any problems or conflicts in places where oil is produced, like the Middle East, can make people worry about whether there will be enough oil to go around. This fear of not having enough oil can cause prices to go up. Then there's the recovery of the global economy after the COVID-19 pandemic. As industries start making more stuff and people start traveling again, they need more oil to do it. This higher demand for oil has made prices go even higher. And don't forget about new technology and rules about the environment. Electric cars and clean energy sources are getting more popular, but they haven't slowed down how much oil we use yet. As long as people still need oil, the price will keep going up. When you put all these things together, OPEC cuts, countries arguing, the world getting back to normal after COVID-19, and new ways to use energy, it's clear why oil prices are going through the roof. Understanding what's causing oil prices to go up so much is important for lots of people, like government leaders, investors, and regular folks like you and me. With oil being so important for how the world works, changes in its price can affect how much things cost and how our economies grow. So keeping an eye on what's happening with oil prices is something we all need to do. The domino effect on inflation. When oil prices skyrocket, it sets off a chain reaction that can send ripples through the entire economy, ultimately leading to inflation. Let's break down how this domino effect unfolds. First off, when oil prices surge, it affects the cost of virtually everything. From transportation to manufacturing, oil is a crucial input in various industries. As the price of oil rises, so do production costs for businesses. This prompts them to increase prices on goods and services to maintain profit margins. For example, higher oil prices lead to increased transportation costs, which can result in higher prices for consumer goods like groceries and household items. But it's not just consumers who feel the pinch. Businesses also face higher operating costs due to increased energy expenses. This can lead to lower profit margins, forcing them to either absorb the costs or pass them on to consumers through higher prices. As a result, inflation begins to creep up, affecting the purchasing power of consumers and eroding the value of their money. Moreover, rising oil prices can have a cascading effect on government policies and economic stability. Governments may face pressure to intervene to mitigate the impact of inflation by implementing measures such as tightening monetary policy or increasing interest rates. These actions can have far-reaching consequences on borrowing costs, investment decisions, and overall economic growth. Let's take a closer look at some real-world examples to illustrate this domino effect. In 2023, Brent crude prices surpassed $90 per barrel, driven by factors such as supply-demand dynamics and production cuts by OPEC+. This surge in oil prices led to higher transportation costs for businesses, resulting in increased prices for consumer goods. Retail prices for gasoline reached multi-year highs, putting further strain on consumers' wallets. Meanwhile, businesses faced mounting pressure to manage rising energy expenses, which impacted their bottom line. Many were forced to raise prices on goods and services, contributing to overall inflationary pressures. As a result, consumers experienced a decrease in purchasing power, as their dollars bought less than before. Furthermore, governments had to grapple with the challenge of addressing inflation while maintaining economic stability. Central banks were forced to consider tightening monetary policy to curb inflationary pressures, which could potentially slow down economic growth. In conclusion, the domino effect of rising oil prices on inflation is a complex phenomenon with far-reaching implications. From higher prices for consumer goods to government intervention in monetary policy, the impact of surging oil prices reverberates throughout the economy, affecting consumers, businesses, and policymakers alike. Impact on the economy. When oil prices surge, the impacts are far-reaching and backed by estimations and statistics from various sources. Let's delve into how the economy is affected by these surges. Firstly, let's talk about job losses. Oil-producing states like Alaska, North Dakota, Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana are heavily reliant on the oil industry for employment. According to data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, IEA, the oil and natural gas industry supports millions of jobs across these states. For instance, in Texas alone, the industry employs over 400,000 people, and similar numbers can be seen in other oil-producing regions. Rising oil prices can lead to layoffs as companies struggle to maintain profitability amidst higher production costs. According to estimates from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, the correlation between oil prices and job losses in the oil industry is significant. For example, during periods of low oil prices, the number of active oil rigs decreases, leading to job losses in drilling and exploration activities. The ripple effects extend beyond the oil industry to other sectors like manufacturing and construction. Higher oil prices result in increased operating costs for manufacturers who rely on oil for transportation and raw material production. The National Association of Manufacturers, NAM, estimates that every $10 increase in the price of oil leads to a 0.2% decrease in GDP growth. Similarly, the construction industry is impacted by rising oil prices as materials like asphalt and plastics become more expensive. The Associated General Contractors of America, AGC, estimates that higher oil prices can increase construction costs by up to 5%, leading to delays and cancellations of infrastructure projects. Transportation is another sector heavily impacted by surging oil prices. The International Air Transport Association estimates that for every $1 increase in the price of oil, airlines' fuel bill increases by $1.6 billion annually. This cost is often passed on to consumers in the form of higher ticket prices, impacting travel demand and tourism-related industries. Consumer spending is also affected by higher oil prices. The U.S. Department of Labor reports that transportation costs account for a significant portion of household spending, and any increase in fuel prices directly impacts disposable income. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index often dips during periods of high oil prices, reflecting consumers' concerns about rising costs and economic uncertainty. Overall, the impact of surging oil prices on the economy is significant and backed by estimations and statistics from various sources. From job losses in oil-producing states to reduced consumer spending and slowed economic growth, the effects are felt across multiple sectors and highlight the interconnectedness of the global economy. That wraps up our exploration of oil prices and their impact on inflation. But our journey doesn't end here. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, hit subscribe and join us for more insights. We're always here to keep you informed and entertained. So, until next time, like, share, and comment below. See you soon.